Hey guys, welcome back from our how long has it been, Spud? Couple months from our
About
half
5 months.
6 months, 5 6 months hiatus. Uh Freeze kind of got us down for a little bit, and it's the off season, right? So we kind of take things slow. But welcome back to our first episode of the 2021 season. Kind of got kickstarted a little early because of these two gentlemen right here, David and Matt McHugh, sorry. They've decided to start something up for the community. Before we get into that, though, we kind of give you a little teaser. Let's go ahead and get started with these two. As far as what brought this up, where you guys from? A lot of you guys, I was just talking to these guys offline. I really wasn't familiar with these guys 'cause I had been gone from the area for so long. By the time I got back, they were already starting their college careers or finishing their college careers, actually. So I missed a lot of their high school stuff. But David, Matt, why don't you guys give us a little background on yourselves?
Man, we're from Ingleside, Texas, small town football. We got to be a big part of the success that they've had for the last 10, 15 years, and just be a vital part of that. We grew up kind of in the Houston area, me, my brother, and my mom, and then moved out to the Corpus Christi area, and then been there ever since.
Yes, sir. We both multiple sport athletes, but we really got drawn to football. Mom wouldn't let us play till we got to junior high, so that was one thing that we kind of had to learn on the go. But we always going back to looking at things that we did in Ingleside. We being able to come out of there and go play college football, and like Matt said, be a part of the success that they had, was real big for us. And that's a big reason why we wanted to start a camp like this, because, being from a small town area in the Corpus area where, getting recruited isn't really a big thing for football. We want to be able to try to change that culture.
Where did y'all go play ball at in college?
We went to McMurray University. We played there from 2012, finished our last season in 2016. We got recruited by Coach Hal Mummy, who created the air raid. So that was a big part of why we went over there, getting to throw the ball around and do what we like to do.
You were saying that you guys were multi-sport athletes in high school. I can't remember, doing my research on you guys. One of you guys played on the basketball team there as well, right?
Yes. I played on the men's basketball team over at McMurray in 2017.
And in that same breath, while he was playing, I was one of the assistant coaches.
Yeah, that was the other thing, right? So one of you guys redshirted, right? Because one graduated before the other, right?
Yeah, we graduated at the same time. I redshirted my freshman year in football, played 3 seasons, and then ended up my last season just playing straight basketball.
Okay.
What was the kick behind that? Just you're kind of done with football and just want to focus on basketball?
We had a change in the coaching staff, and I had been student assisting with the basketball program the 3 years before. And I kind of just, wanted to take my shot at trying to be a multi-sport athlete in college. And so I knew the coaches, and I tried out, went through the off-season process, and then ended up making the team. So it was a cool little deal. And then just didn't play football that year. And it was fun, man.
What positions did y'all play when y'all were at McMurray for football?
I played quarterback, and then David played wide receiver.
Yeah, I played wide receiver, but I also punted. I was also the punter. I was the punter for the last 3 seasons that we were there. And the holder. I don't know if that's
the holder.
That is a position.
Matt, you didn't play quarterback in high school, right? The 1 year the film I saw of you were playing wide receiver.
Yeah, I played quarterback for 5 games in high school. It was we had just had our quarterback graduate my sophomore year. So then my junior year, I started off playing quarterback, and after that, he moved me back to wide receiver, and we moved the freshman Tristan Barajas up into the mix, and he had two pretty decent targets to throw to, me and my brother. So we just went about it that way. And then whenever I would go to camps over the summer, I would play quarterback. I would play the quarterback position. So that's kind of how I got recruited in that position.
Huh.
What are you preferable to, QB or wide receiver?
Quarterback. I think those 5 games really made me enjoy the position. Selfishly enough, getting to touch the ball every play, kind of getting to be in that light, being a leader for the team, and it was it's just a position that it takes a lot, but it's a fun thing to do. Fun, especially at that age. I was like, man, I love this position, and it was something that I felt like I was good at. So I just took it and ran with it.
And I played quarterback in 7th and 8th grade. I was the quarterback. And then we got to high school with Matt took over.
Wow. So I mean,
Pretty funny when the competition's right down the room, right?
That's it. Oh, well, no, we shared a room. We had 2 beds sitting in the same room. We didn't have to go down the hallway to duke it out.
Hey, so you mentioned y'all got recruited by Hal Mummy, right, in the air raid. How has that helped y'all with your coaching careers, being able to play in a system and learn from a guy like that?
Man, it's big time for me because, I still go back to a lot of the things that we used to do with that system because, being in the air raid offense, you see so many different ways that people try to cover it, and there's never really a right answer for covering the air raid offense because there's so many different things that you can do, check downs, and different schemes that you can draw up to, to really beat up on the defense. And to us, getting recruited, it was like, man, going in, for me especially, playing receiver, I'm like, man, what I want to do is I want to go to college and catch the ball a little bit. So I knew that going to a guy like Hal Mummy, being able to learn and run routes a lot and catch the ball a lot was a big thing for me.
What about you, Matt? How'd you like that?
Man, I've used his name on almost every resume I've sent out, and I've gotten plenty of responses. Not only has he been a good asset for me getting jobs, but we only played for him for a year, but I learned so much in that 1 year, and just being able to go and throw the ball and have some success and learn from one of the best coaches to ever do it, man. He was a big part of my career and a big part of my learning process and what's made me the coach that I am today.
What system got implemented after he left that y'all finished McMurray with?
Man, so after he left, we actually kept the same system. Mason Miller took over, who's now the O-line coach at Mississippi State. He took over as the head coach. And then after he left, we had a OC come in. He's kind of a northern guy. He was in, I think he was in Ohio or anyways, that we kind of went to a under center, multiple. I mean, we did, you name it, we did it. I mean, we ran some quick game stuff, some air raids, pass concepts, under center, toss. I mean, you name it, we did it. So
sounds like the guy at a Cornerstone, Spud. Like we don't run an offense. We run an offense that scores points.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
He's actually the offensive coordinator at Friends University now, right, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Friends University. I'm not exactly sure where it's at, but.
So he came from up north, was like the northern part of America, correct?
Yeah.
Was there a difference in his coaching style versus,
Man, there was a big difference. In the air raid system, you have something that you do every single day. So first, you're doing drills every single day, the same drills. You're doing routes on air, you're doing 7-on-7, you're doing 1-on-1s, and it's just a routine. And then going from that to a new coach, we still had some routines that stayed the same, but it was a lot more. You're really sitting and talking about different things that you're doing as an offense a lot more individual work going in and then going into straight team rather than doing 7-on-7 and different things like that. Again, like I said, with the air raid, man, we probably ran 400 to 500 routes a day, and so I try to implement that a little bit now. It's like, with the air raid offense, we would do routes on air. You caught a 5-yard pass, you had to run and go score in the end zone every single time, and then you got to get back in line, whether you had 3 guys in your line or 7 guys in your line.
Yeah.
So it really was a difference between that and then going and just kind of working on different specific things within the offense, because again, like Matt said, there was so many different things that we did with the multiple offense that you had to learn. So.
And David, what exactly are you coaching now? What is you're an OC, I think, right, at Taft?
Well, so right now in Taft, I'm the defensive coordinator,
Okay.
but I do work a lot with both sides of the ball. I'm actually the quarterback coach over in Taft as well. And next year, I'll have a little bit more hand in the offense as well, kind of on the pass game. We do a lot of things off of play action and a lot of route concepts that I'm going to be adding this next year. So I'm excited about it.
So when you were at Murray, what exactly was your what's been your path, I guess, to get you all the way to Taft? What's the journey?
So right out of McMurray, I was actually over at TMI, Texas Military Institute. I was coaching wide receivers and kind of the pass game coordinator over there right out of college. After that year that I did football, basketball, and baseball over there. After that year, I actually took a different route and was the bar manager at Papacitos in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, that's your spots, bud.
Not
I was there for about a year and a half, and so I kind of was, and I really actually enjoyed doing it. But it was a lot of fun. It's a different life for sure. Not last summer, but the summer before, Trey Stevens, he called me and he was like, "How fast can you get certified in PE? I have a job for you." I said that the next day. So I went, took my test like in 4 days, passed it, and then so I ended up coming over to Mathis. Of course I wanted to coach the whole time, but I was really enjoying my time at Papacitos, and it was kind of one of those things that I was sitting there saying, this is something I can see myself doing. But once Trey gave me that call, I was like, okay, I got to get out of here. I got to go coach football again. So I spent the last year at Mathis, and believe it or not, this past summer, the head basketball job at Taft opened up, and I had a couple people ask me if I wanted to interview for it, and so I ended up interviewing for it. And I always tell people it's the weirdest interview ever because we never talked about basketball the whole time. About an hour and a half. Coach Cassiano, I always tell people I had this about 11-page portfolio that Coach Cassiano flipped over and was drawing football plays on. Didn't open it one time, and and after he coached against Matthew and I, so he knew who I was. And afterwards, he called me and offered me the defensive coordinator position, and I was like, man, I didn't know where it came from, but I was like, let's go. I'm ready to get it. So.
And did you know? I guess you knew Trey from back in the day. Is that how you had that connection?
Trey coached against us as well, and Trey and I, we built a really good relationship after I kind of graduated high school, and it was one of those things that we would talk all the time. And I always told him, man, as soon as you get that first head coaching job, just give me a call and I'm right there with you. And luckily, of course, he got that Mathis job last year, and in the spring before he got that Mathis job, and then he gave me that call, and I was like, well, I've been just like we've been talking about. I'm ready to go. So.
And what about you, Matt? How was your journey? Sorry, Jacob, I keep cutting you off, dude.
And I would say you worked with Coach TikTok up there in Mathis for a little bit too, then, right? Did you guys catch the tail end of his time there?
Yeah, Regalado was there right before he left right before I got there.
Okay, so y'all kind of did the high five.
They do a lot of mentions on Twitter. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we tried to get him to stay. I was like, come on, man, you gotta stay here. But he at the time he had wanted to go back home back to the valley. But man, he once he blew up, it was like, come
Dude.
on, man.
Yeah, I know. We talked to him a lot through DM, and man, just the way it happened. I mean, and that's crazy. But sorry, so Matt, yeah, that was gonna jump into that, and Spud got into it. You know, you're at Lubbock, right? Lubbock Estacado.
Yes,
So
sir.
let's talk about your path. How did you get out there?
Man, my path is a little bit is funny, man. I was dating a girl in college. Okay, she's from Lubbock. She got a job as soon as we graduated high school. I mean, I'm sorry, college. So naturally, I had to make a decision. Do I go home? I had a couple job offers back home, or do I try to make this relationship work? And you kind of see what I decided to choose. So I moved up to Lubbock, found myself an apartment, and found a job at a shoe store in town. And I was working at a private school as just like an intern. My wife's cousin was going to school there. So I went and talked to the coach and was just kind of working there. Well, one day I'm selling shoes to this guy, and he's asking me a bunch of questions about what I want to do when I graduate and whatever. And finally, I told him like, hey, I already graduated and, I'm trying to be a coach. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, he leaves, and about an hour later comes back and finds me. He's like, hey, you have an interview tomorrow at Lubbock Estacado. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I guess I never introduced myself. I'm the principal at Lubbock Estacado. And you have an interview tomorrow at 1:00. And I was like, sweet, I'll be there. Well, I walked into the interview and I sit down and he's like, oh, I already learned enough about you yesterday. I just needed you to come sign your contract. So I was like,
wow.
It was, dude, it was interesting. So from there, man, I've been at Estacado. I was there for 2 years. And then last year I accepted an offensive coordinator job at Brownfield High School, which is still in the 806. And I was there for a year. We did some good things. And then Coach Cluley gave me a call and was like, hey, I want you to come back and coach quarterbacks. I was coaching wide receivers the first 2 years I was at Estacado. And then to me, man, when one of your mentor calls and has a job for you, it's kind of hard to say no. He's kind of helped me be the coach I am. So, even though I was kind of technically taking a step down from being an offensive coordinator to just being an assistant, with what we have going over here at Estacado, it was hard for me to say no. So I came back, took over quarterbacks, and I'm also the recruiting coordinator for Estacado. So it's been a journey, to say the least, but a fun one.
So talk about, because you've seen that position pop up a lot lately, the high school recruiting coordinator.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit what that entails now, because a lot of folks, a lot of the kids, a lot of the parents that watch this show, they see the position, but what are you doing for these kids? Which I if I have my correct understanding on, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I told somebody I was a recruiting coordinator one time, and they told me that it was cheating because I was going out and recruiting kids to come to Estacado, and I was like, no, that's not my job title. So I kind of explain the way I explain it is what we do is we reach out to coaches at all levels, Division I to NAIA, and we kind of just spotlight our kids. Our job is to get on social media and tweet about our kids, take pictures, send them out to coaches. Just my main job is to spotlight the kids in the athletic program and kind of make sure that they are being able to fulfill their dream of going to be college athletes. And a lot of kids don't have the resources to do so. I know when me and Dave were growing up, we didn't have the resources to go to every camp and be seen by everybody that we wanted to be seen by. So my job is to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to make sure those kids get recruited and are recruited fairly and are being seen by everybody that they need to be seen by. And that, like I said, that's Division I to NAIA. We don't discriminate any other way, because a college football dream is a college football dream. So my everyday routine is I wake up and I'll email 3 coaches every day, and just send out prospect sheets, highlight videos, you name it, we send it out. And we just want to make sure that our kids are getting a fair opportunity to get recruited, because unfortunately, we live just kind of like Corpus Christi. We live in an area that is very, very under recruited, because it's not Houston, it's not Dallas. And for some reason, a lot of people think that there's not good football in areas like this, and there is. So it's my job to make sure that these college coaches recognize that.
Not even Tech will recruit over there.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're in the backyard of one of a Big 12 university.
We can see the stadium. We can see the stadium from our field.
Wow.
So it's we've it's tough. The Houston Dallas name just kind of gets to these college coaches, and it is what it is. And we've had kids that we feel like should get offers to certain places, and they don't get those. But again, the college dream is a college dream, and as long as we can get them somewhere, it's a big deal to us, and it's a big deal to them. So it's a job that I love. I mean, I love not only getting to help our kids, but I get to meet cool coaches and get to talk ball with people all around the country. So
I was about to say, you probably made a lot of connections just simply off that job right there in the college realm.
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about Regalado earlier. We have an offensive lineman that they love. He actually just committed last week or this week. So I've been in contact with him so much, and he's kind of just been telling me about the process, and it's awesome getting to meet guys, from all over the country that like our kids and want to help them live the dream.
And he's what, a 3 or 4 star, that lineman y'all have?
He's a 3-star right now.
All right.
He'll probably end up bumping up, but right now he's a 3-star, high 3-star. He's actually the number 1 recruit in Washington State history.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so
wow.
See,
yeah,
we talk all the time. I tell Jacob all the time, and I made the argument with people that, just, I don't know, maybe from the outside looking in, everyone's like so fixated on the D1, right? Like, if you're not a D1 player, you're not a good player, which I always think is false. But I've always told Jacob, it was like, whether it's D1, D2, JUCO, the NAI, or whatever it is, and you get a full ride or most of your school paid for, I feel like you won, you beat the system, because it's a free education, right? And you start looking at like, the percentage of kids that go to Alabama and Clemson, like I think Alabama put 6 in the first round, right? Yeah. That's pretty unheard of, but still look at that number. That's only 6 kids, and I'm sure maybe 10 on that whole team last year out of about 50 something kids. You got another 40 that might not even make it or probably won't make it. And it's like everyone gets so fixated on D1, and it's like, man, if you get a free ride, whether it's D1, D2, as small as it gets, I mean, you beat the system. So exactly. I like the recruiting coordinator position. David, do we have many jobs down here? Are schools using a recruiting coordinator? I haven't really seen it.
We don't have a lot. There's not a lot of schools down here that have that recruiting coordinator title. I like to call myself the recruiting coordinator, but I really talk to the kids and try to make sure that they're doing everything that they can to prepare themselves if they do want to go play. We did send a kid actually to McMurray. Our running back signed with McMurray this past year.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Believe it or not, like I said, and a big part of the reason we were doing the camp is, a lot of the college coaches that I know, if I see a kid in Corpus that I know is being under recruited and I know needs to go play, I'll send their film to, and I don't go say, hey, I'm sending your film. I just do it because I'm like, hey man, this kid can ball, take a look at him. I'm not his coach or anything, but I know that this kid, I've seen him play, I've seen his film, because again, a lot of coaches aren't reaching out to a lot of schools down here. I know one recruiting coordinator that we do have, Coach Johnson over in Flower Bluff.
Yep.
Everything that I have for being able to recruit and talk to coaches is all from him. Man. He's helped me out a bunch, whether it's sending me contacts, whether it's sending me, different emails and stuff like that he sends out. He does a really, really good job of what he does over there at Fly Above.
That's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
He's been in contact with us since what, day one?
Day one, yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty much, I think, probably the guy pushing the whole social media vibe that Flower Bluff does. If you look at their social media for their athletics, it's probably the best in the area. I mean, that's something I think is super underutilized. I talk about all the time. It's super underutilized. Twitter is such a big tool for recruiting nowadays and for kids. And I think our area is starting to get it a little more compared to up north. And I think it helps, It's definitely an easier way to a kid to get his tape out there. Because I know when we played 2009 to about 11, it wasn't really around. So you pretty much solely based on your coaches reaching out to people. And I mean, I played at Portland, and honestly, we didn't do any of that. There was no, of course, we didn't have really anyone on our team that was like, other than maybe Chance and Kyle, that like should have got recruited. But still, it was like there wasn't no tools out there for kids to use. And our coaching staff, and I'm not knocking them. It's just they were a little old school, and they didn't. There was no need to send films out, and so the Twitter tool is pretty cool that we're starting to use it down here now.
And being able to share, like, just share your highlight video on, with the click of a button now, because me and Matt were laughing. My mom was going through old stuff. She was moving. She was going through old stuff, and she found a letter that we got from Alabama. And it was asking about us. They wanted us to send VCR tapes, VHS or whatever. Wanted us to send our VHS tapes to them so they can break down film on us and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, how easy would it be to be able to just click a button and say, all right, here's the film, or stuff like that. So
you make your own reels on Huddle, I think now, right?
Yeah, that's it. You make your own videos. You can send game film. You can, do all types of stuff. And to me, it's just like, a simple DM now to a coach rather than having to send an email and hoping that they see it, or, you can just shout them out on Twitter. And so it makes it real easy to do that.
I had a DVD made from, I think it was the junior high. Coach Garcia made it for me. It was to send to Howard Payne and a couple other schools just like Howard Payne for like snapping and stuff, and center. And I don't know where it went. It's somewhere and my parents lost, but it's funny, right? VHS and DVD, that's how you have to send it in. And now it's just share it on Twitter or whatever.
So I think that's a good transition point to start talking about this camp, right? So obviously you've explained the reasons behind it. Now, how did all this come together? I mean, it came together pretty quick. I think, David, you sent us a message maybe a week and a half ago that, hey, we're about to put this thing together. And man, it came together fast.
Oh, yeah. So it was something that we actually had talked about back in March. We talked about it a little bit, and then it just kind of died off. And then I want to say that I messaged you guys I think it was the weekend or something like that.
I'm going to look right now. You keep talking.
But probably 2 days before that, I said, you know what? Because I was looking at the different camps that we do have. And I said, you know what, Matt? I said, I think we need to put this thing together. We need to try to put it together pretty quick because I want to get it done this summer. So probably 2 days before I told you, we started creating everything.
21st.
The 21st, yeah.
21st. And
so the last thing that we did was create the name. We came up with about 50 names that and it was right there in front of us the whole time. I mean, so some of the ideas that we had behind the camp again, for us being able to put Corpus, obviously it'd be pretty tough to compete with the Dallas and the Houston areas as far as, being able to get recruited. But to us, being able to show the kids that we can put that you can get out of this area to go play football, whether it's D2, D1, D3. for us, it doesn't matter. Going to play football is playing football. Like Matt said, the college dream is the college dream, whether you're playing D3 football or D1 in Alabama or Texas. You know what I mean? So.
Matt?
Yeah, this is. I mean, we've talked about this probably since we graduated college, and it's kind of just been like, oh yeah, this would be cool if we did this, and now it's kind of all came into fruition, and we just, we're excited to be able to give back again. The Twins name actually stands for Together We Improve Necessary Skills. So, it's kind of a play on words. We just, we saw that we saw that me and David were putting this on together. We kind of, man, we had the logo before we even had the name. So when we saw that and we got the logo, and we were like, man, this would be perfect. So, yeah, we are twins putting this on, but at the same time, we're telling everybody, like, we want to help you improve your skills in the game that, we all come to love.
And we need it down here. We've not really had this type of camps come in. And Jake, we were involved in what?
We've been to a couple. Yeah, we've been to a couple.
Like what? Right before COVID. COVID didn't have any, and it was, I think, what, Legends, and what was the other one?
It was BJ's.
BJ's. And it's the thing we noticed is the kids down here, it's just like they're not very familiar with the camps, right? So they get there and they're almost a little lost, it's like you're doing the high school football camp they put on for 1 week at each school around here, versus this is more of we're like skills, exactly, which are teaching. So the more we get down here, obviously, is the better for these kids, because they need to learn if they want to go play at the next level. They're going to need it. So I think it's a pretty cool idea with the bringing a camp down here. Do y'all have any plans of taking this camp to Lubbock?
Well, right now we want to focus on the Corpus Christi area. We grew up there. We've kind of gotten support from them throughout, from high school to college, and even now, just I get messages all the time with people that watch us play or that we played against, telling me that they're proud of who we've become. So right now, it is an emphasis to give directly back to who supported us and who watched us grow as young men. So we eventually will make moves like Lubbock, and our goal is to hit the small cities who are under recruited. And if we go to Houston and Dallas, it's just another camp. You know what I mean? So right now, we're directly focused on Corpus Christi area. Even that we haven't really put the Valley, but we would love schools from the Valley to send guys up, and that means just as much to us as Corpus Christi does. So we want to try to focus on that area first, maybe these first couple years, kind of build a name for ourselves in the camp and build a good reputation, and then go from there. So
we did know there was some kids from the Valley at one of those camps we went to a couple years ago, right, Jake? We had a couple come up. So it was I think it was mainly the offensive linemen. Are y'all doing offensive line, or is this mainly skills right now?
So right now, we kind of just wanted to get our feet wet with the whole thing, and it's just going to be a skills camp. We definitely are going to add offensive linemen in the mix next time we do a camp, because we call it a passing academy, but you can't throw the ball if you don't have the big boys blocking for you. So we definitely want to add that into the mix, but right now it's solely a skills camp. Kind of just wanted to get our feet wet and make sure that we can do the best possible for the kids that are going to end up coming to the camp.
So I saw y'all had Rich. I'm sorry, Jake. Did it again. Y'all have Reggie McNeil coming to help coach with, correct?
Yeah. So he's part of the Legends Showcase, and I know Coach Morrison pretty well. I got in contact with him and kind of talked to him about the camp, shared our ideas, and man, he was completely on board. He's kind of done some stuff in the Corpus Christi area a little bit, but he was completely on board. So I talked to him about him and Reggie coming down and just being a big part of what we're doing. And I think that us bringing in a guy like Reggie McNeil, who's had so much success is going to be big for the community. And that's something that we want to try to do every year. May not be Reggie every year, but just maybe bringing in one guy that had some NFL experience or a big time college football experience and kind of share their story, man. And I think that one, it attracts people to the camp, and two, it gets great insight from a guy who did it at the highest level. So that's something that we want to try to do every year.
So you've probably got a lot of questions, because I know you guys posted out, hey, if you guys get any questions on the camp, reach out to us. What are some of the questions you've got that you can answer right now for the folks at home watching? Some of the things that you've been asked already.
One thing that we have been asked a lot is kind of the direction of the camp in which we're going. Is it going to be just, running routes? Is it going to be just throwing the ball? One thing that we're really going to focus on is, just like we said, improving necessary skills. So we're not going to go out there and say, okay, let's just run around and do all these things that aren't necessary for our kids. We want to improve the necessary skills for them that they're going to be able to use next year, not 4 years from now. We want them to be able to get on the football field next year and use these different skills and techniques that we're going to be teaching out on the football field. So that was, that's a big thing for us. And, one big thing that we also talked about, and I know Matt wanted to talk a little bit about this as well. One thing that we're also going to incorporate is, we're going to have a sit down with the parents as well. During the warm up process and as the kids are warming up, because we know the parents want to watch the camp. But about 30 minutes in, while the kids are warming up, we want to talk to the parents about different things, necessary for their athletes, on and off the field, nutrition, their physical, attributes, being able to get in the weight room, different things that they can do to gain that college ready body, to gain that college ready mentality and whatnot. And Matt, I know you wanted to say some stuff about that as well.
Yeah, so like David said, the beginning of the camp, we're going to start off with warming up, obviously, and then some agility circuits. So during that time, that little 30-minute segment, we are going to kind of have a little packet, a nutrition and a recruiting packet, kind of help parents talk them through the recruiting process, talk them through what the strength and nutrition process should look like for their athlete going into high school and college, what to expect, kind of see how things should be done. And that, parents don't really get involved in that process enough, and we want to make sure that they have a good understanding of what's going on. That way, when it does come to the point where their kid is being recruited, they know and understand the process and can be able to help, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times the parents aren't involved enough, so all they know is, oh, well, yeah, you should go there. They win games, but that's not, that's not the big part of the process. So we want to try to help in that aspect. And then as far as the skills, man, we want to build sufficient athletes. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to do is going to be stuff that they can go home and do on their own to improve. Because that's important. If the only time that they can do a drill is at our camp, then we're not doing our job. You know what I mean? Our job is to give them the necessary tools to go home and do stuff on their own. So that's a big part of what we want to do.
What other coaches do y'all have coming in to help y'all out that are local? Or are y'all bringing anyone else outside the area like Reggie?
Yeah, man, we have a bunch of friends in the area who've already hit us up to come and help and volunteer. And man, we've had people pouring in with love, trying to come and help. And man, if we told everybody yes, then we'd have more athletes. But we have Marquise Barreau, who actually played with us at Ingleside. He's going to come help coach running backs. My cousin Lewis Williams, he's a coach over at Ingleside. He's going to come in and kind of help with the defensive backs. And then we have a couple college coaches who have talked about coming in and helping. We don't know for sure, so I don't want to throw their information out there until we get a yes. But right now, man, it's we're trying to keep it a tight knit group. That way, when people think about the Twins Passing Academy, they think about certain faces. You know what I mean? Obviously, me and David's because it's on the logo, but the guys that are helping at those camps, and we also want the athletes to be able to reach out to those coaches that coach them at the camp. You know what I mean? And just for maybe like help with drills or help with the recruiting process or whatever they need, that we want to be available to those kids. And that's just what, why we're doing this.
Well, it sounds like a good deal, man. What's the response been like so far? Are you getting, how many sessions are y'all going to have? Things like that.
Man, we've had a good response. We've had, I don't even know how many people sign up, but, we set our goal when we started at 50. So hopefully, from there, we really don't know, obviously, because we've never done a camp like this before. I've seen camps that have hundreds of guys, and I've seen camps that have 20 guys. To us, the amount of people that show up is the perfect amount of people to start. Obviously, we just if it's one person, and I hope we can impact that one person. If it's 200, I hope we can impact those 200 people. But our goal was 50, and that was just throwing a number out there. But whatever the number shows up is the perfect amount of kids.
We actually, as of right now, we actually have a couple West Texas guys that have already signed up. One from Cisco, Texas. One from Wink, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a hike. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. We can start advertising the camp as a chance to get away for a summer vacation. Come down to the beach.
It's not a bad spot, right?
No,
we
it's
like
not a bad
outside guys.
What was that?
We like the outside guys. At the Todd Dodge camp in 2019, we met a little group of kids from, was it Windthorst?
Windthorst, yeah.
Yeah, those core group of kids ended up winning the state championship this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you're Sunday, June 27th, right? And it's going to be at John Paul, right? That's where the camp's going to be at. So, they've got a very good facility for you folks that have never been out here. Again, I mean, it's a great area. I mean, David hit it right on the head, man. I mean, bring your kids down here, let them get some exposure, let them learn some necessary skills, right? And bring your boat down, stay the weekend, man, make a trip out of it. That was during that GP GP tournament that was at Ingleside and GP, this baseball tournament. There was a parent from Stockdale pulling his 18-footer behind his truck. He's like, yeah, we're making a weekend of it.
Oh yeah.
So not kill two birds with one stone, but no, really, I mean, this is a great thing that you guys are doing. Because you, like I said, Jacob's not from here. Coach Morrison, he's not from here. So he'll bring his camp through here, but you guys are from here, and you guys are trying to give back to the area, trying to give back to the community that helped you guys out. You guys said it, the community that supported y'all throughout your high school careers and in your college careers, man, that's a great thing. Which you really don't see enough of, and it's a very selfless act that you guys are putting on here. And that's a big deal. It says a lot about you two as men, as well as coaches. So I'll say it for these kids and for these parents. Thank you guys for putting this together.
Yeah, no problem, man. And that's to us, it's we want it to be a big deal, and we want people to not think that we're for us, we wanted to put on something that we didn't think was expensive. We didn't think that we can't get a lot of guys. We just want everybody to understand that this isn't about us just putting on a camp just to have. We want this to be an every year thing to where we could start showing these kids that you can make it out of Corpus, to go play football. We have a lot of kids go play baseball. We're a baseball city, and I see that. But we want those guys that want to go play football somewhere. We want them to see and know that they have a shot. Hopefully, obviously, next summer we're gonna start a camp for the little guys, for the the little football players. Start getting them work early. That way they can come to the older camp. Also, we've had a lot of outreach about camps for 4th and 5th graders and 3rd graders. Again, we want to do it for everybody in Corpus. This first one is kind of for us, like Matt said, to get our feet wet and to kind of show ourselves that we can put on a camp that everybody's going to enjoy. And then next year when we start to grow and start doing things for the little guys in Corpus and start making them fall in love with the process as well, it's gonna be big for us. So.
And it's needed because that age group, you're starting to see, what is it, sixth grade athletics now? They're starting to get kids involved pretty early on. And the thing that y'all are doing with the parents, I think, is huge, because a lot of parents, as supportive as they are for their kid, you're right that the nutritional part of it, having them lifting the weights and going that extra step is probably the biggest key that a lot of kids miss in this area, because they don't want to put that extra work in.
Exactly.
I know when I was in high school, that wasn't really hounded on us to always be living in the weight room and eating clean. And, you look back now and you're like, wow, like that, there was, just huge opportunities missed. And now that you have opportunity to reach out to parents and younger kids, it's great. It's a really good thing you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I would assume these varsity coaches would appreciate that, these camps with these younger kids, because, these Pee Wee football leagues are the foundation of these varsity football programs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just look over at some of these schools up on Northwest Boulevard, or a little further up 77 around the Refugio area. They're very integral to these varsity programs. So
those programs right over there, Refugio, those kids, the little league program over there, the tight program over there, they're doing, they have wristbands, they're ready to go from the jump. So when they get to varsity football, and that's one thing that we also, talking to the parents, we got to, let them know, like, it doesn't start when they get into high school. It doesn't start when they're on varsity. It starts at an early age, and it starts, with you having to hold, not necessarily you as a parent, but you have to make sure that your son is being held accountable. Your athletes being held to a standard. It's like, okay, if this is what your dream, you got to go work for it. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to lift weights when you don't want to lift weights. You're going to have to get on the track whenever you don't feel like running. You're going to have to wake up early and do these things every day. Because, and I talk to everybody, always ask me, like, my kids ask me all the time, what was a college like schedule like for a football player? And I'm like, we have 5 a.m. weights. We would have about 20 minutes to go eat breakfast. We'd have class all day, practice at 3 o'clock. Then we would go eat dinner, and then we'd have meetings. We'd have position meetings right after dinner, and then we'd have team meetings right after that till about 10 o'clock, and then it's back to sleep for 5 o'clock workouts. And that's every day, during the season and after the season. After the season, it was even more. You had weights in the morning, meetings in the morning, lunch, class, meetings in the afternoon, spring practice in the afternoon, meetings after that. So, being able to tell these kids, man, it's like you got to be able to and willing to put in that work and put in that time, that necessary time to be able to do that. So
that's a culture shock for some kids, for a lot of kids.
Big time.
Oh, it was. And I was not made aware of that. And whenever we went up to McMurray, I was telling a story the other day about my first week at camp. And, again, like I said, with the air raid system, we ran probably 500 routes a day. And that started from day one. I woke up, I think we started on Monday. I woke up on like a Saturday about to go over to practice, and I fell out of my bed because my legs were hurting so bad. I couldn't even walk. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I had to go through that a little bit. But it definitely is a culture shock, especially, again, down here, we don't have a lot of that extra time and that extra period to meet and do that different thing. So
exactly.
Well, anything else you guys want to add before we go?
Man, we just appreciate you guys, and we hope that we get a good showing at the camp, and not for us, but for the community. Like I said earlier, whoever shows up, that's a perfect amount, and we just hope that we can put on a good enough camp for you guys to be able to communicate that to the community, and then we just make this thing as big as it's supposed to be. Our goal is to have one of these camps back at Ingleside High School in those new facilities. So hopefully that'd be that'd be awesome if we could do that. But man, we just appreciate you guys. We appreciate the community for supporting this camp and supporting our dream of giving back to the community. So
Absolutely.
any questions or concerns or if you have kids who can't afford to come to the camp, let us know. And we have plenty of people who have given us some sponsorship money, or man, we'll just let them come for free. This isn't about us. This is about the community and giving back, and we want to do anything that we can to make sure that happens. So any questions or concerns, man, just let us know. Talk to South Texas Unlimited, and they'll get with us, and then we'll go from there, man.
Like Matt said, our face may be on the logo, but it's not about us. It's about the community. It's about what we can do to put on for the South Texas community. And so, again, like Matt said, don't make it about, if it's about the money, we'll talk. We have, like Matt said, we have plenty of people that want to pay for people that can't come. I've been asked probably by 10 people, can I pay for somebody if they can't afford it? Absolutely. We'll make sure that it's taken care of.
Oh, for sure. When we broadcast it, I mean, we'll put it on our platforms. Well, we already have, I think it's going to be a good turnout. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Yes, sir.
Out here want this. I mean, they need it, So
yeah,
absolutely.
Have you looked, Jacob? Are we off?
Yeah, we're off. So if none of us are having to work overtime or anything, we'll more than likely be out there, unless something else pops up. But yeah, I mean, definitely, guys. Give your Twitter handles real quick for the folks that don't follow you guys on Twitter or your social media stuff, where they can find more information on the camp.
So my Twitter handle personally is Coach Q33. And our Twins Passing Academy Twitter handle, it's Passing Twins. It's just at Passing Twins, nothing else.
All right, guys.
My bad. My Twitter handle is Coach_McHugh.
Hey, I got one more question though, and it's kind of a general question. Who's who on the t-shirt?
Hey, so
you'd be surprised how many people. Actually, you wouldn't be surprised. We've had so many people ask us the same question. Man, I don't know.
Everybody,
brown, and I'm seeing Matt.
Look, everybody that has seen the shirt has told me that I'm the blue one. Even my 4-year-old daughter. So I'm gonna go ahead and have to say that I'm the blue one.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll take gold. I'll take the gold. I think it's a good look.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We originally had the hat switched. The gold hat was on the blue shirt, but we like this better.
Yeah.
Before, I have to give a shout out to LC Cisneros and Go for Two Sports for the logo.
Let's say, man.
Yeah, LC, he does a lot of the Twitter banners and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Him and Coach Jackson, they're really good at what they do.
And they're out of, I want to say Claiborne. Okay, I was gonna say I was gonna say Comanche, but Claiborne. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I need to give a huge shout out to my boy Jay City. He's the 806 Connection guy on Twitter. He is gonna drive down from Lubbock and cover the camp, do everything, video, pictures. He's gonna create some highlights for some kids. He has a huge following on Twitter for the 806, but he does a lot of good things for the kids out here, and he does it for free.
What's his name?
His name is Jason Pearson. His Twitter handle is 806. Give me a second. 806 HSSC Connect.
Got it.
He does a huge job for the kids out here that get under recruited. I like to call him the 806 recruiting coordinator for himself, man. He does video. He actually made our poster for the camp, and he's gonna come down and come check out the beach and come check out the camp, do video. He's gonna help coach. He's gonna take pictures. He's gonna do everything for us there, and he's a huge part of what we're doing. So I wanted to make sure and give him a shout out before we got off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he just got a couple followers here. We just followed him now.
Yeah.
So we'll keep up with what he's doing. But that's a great service to add, that another bonus to coming to the camp, right? Another additional service going to be provided to the attendees. So
Mhm.
that's a good deal. Guys, we appreciate your time. I know you're busy. David, I know you got to head out for pictures for the Shriners game, that East-West game down here. Matthew,
Yes.
I'm taking up your Sunday, right? So again, we appreciate you
Yeah.
guys coming
No,
on.
you're awesome.
We just wanted to make sure that we got something out on you guys while everything's hot with this thing right now. And again, we'll promote it as much as we can on all our platforms. We'll try to get as many attendees out there as possible, and hopefully this will help, man. I mean, you guys did a very good job of explaining what this thing's about and what you're doing it for. So
Yes,
again,
sir.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time on your Sunday. Spud, you got anything else?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, guys.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man, we'll be in touch, man. Hit us up if you guys need anything, or if you need anything else from us, man. Or if
Yes,
you guys
sir.
just want to
Sounds
come on
good.
again
Sure.
and talk football during the season, man.
Oh yeah, we'll
Yeah.
definitely have that time that we could do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the things we like to do during the season is we like trying to get coaches on ever so often to talk
Mhm.
ball about
Yeah.
what's going on with their teams and stuff like that. I don't know how familiar you are with the show, but
Oh yeah.
every now and then we come out. Well, a lot of times we come out to the games too and cover it. So we look forward to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good,
Lubbock's
guys.
a little bit of a stretch for us, Matt, but if you got somewhere closer, maybe we can head up and catch an Estacado game or something. But
Yeah, no doubt. I'll keep you guys updated on schedule, and maybe we can work something out.
all right, guys, thanks again for taking the time. And guys, Twins Passing Academy, June 26th. That's a Sunday, correct? Saturday.
27th.
27th. John Paul High School. Make it a point to get out there.
Yes, sir.
Coaches, thanks for showing up, and thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Yep.